The following message is transmitted at the request of the United States Geological Survey. At 1:45 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, a massive underwater earthquake has struck the Pacific Ocean. This quake has a preliminary magnitude of 9.6 on the Richter scale, making it the strongest earthquake ever recorded, beating out the 1960 Valdivia earthquake. The epicenter of this earthquake is approximately 25 miles off the coast of Portland, Oregon. Catastrophic damage has been reported throughout most of Oregon. Moderate damage has been reported in southern Washington, and mild damage was reported in northern California. This earthquake was felt as far east as Denver, as far north as Calgary, Alberta, Canada, and as far south as Los Angeles. Approximately 235 fatalities, 560 injuries, and over 2,000 missing have been reported. All residents receiving this broadcast are advised to seek shelter immediately. Aftershocks are expected to take place within the next few days. Always be prepared if an aftershock strikes. It is also unknown if a tsunami has been generated by this earthquake. However, due to the earthquake's epicenter and high magnitude, a mega tsunami striking the west coast is possible. Tune into local TV and radio stations for more information on this dangerous situation. The National Weather Service has issued a tsunami watch for the entire west coast of the United States effective until further notice. This is a potential mass casualty situation. This is the result of a 9.6 magnitude earthquake that struck 25 miles off the coast of Portland, Oregon at approximately 1:45 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. While a tsunami hasn't been generated, it is likely that a mega tsunami will strike the United States west coast within the next 2 to 3 hours. As a precaution, all residents receiving this broadcast are under a voluntary evacuation order at this time. If you want to evacuate, do so now. This is not a mandatory order. Contraflow has been put into effect on all roadways in the watch area. No westbound traffic is allowed at this time. If you decide to evacuate, you are advised to do the following instructions. Grab all of the people in your home. Take important supplies such as food, water, clothing, medical supplies, a flashlight, a first aid kit, a fully charged cell phone, and a battery-powered radio with extra batteries. Do not pick up relatives from hospitals or nursing homes, as these facilities have their own procedures. Put a white towel on your door or mailbox to show authorities you have evacuated. Repeating, a mega tsunami is likely to strike the United States west coast within the next 2 to 3 hours. If you want to evacuate, do so now. Stay tuned to this station for more information on this developing situation.
Man, this is a rude awakening for the folks out west. Due to this earthquake, I have a feeling that a mega tsunami will strike the west coast pretty soon. Let's hope it doesn't happen.
I agree. I'm sure the people there are pretty nervous.
Let's check Doppler radar, shall we? Oh my god! There is a tsunami on radar. It is expected to strike the west coast within the next 30 to 45 minutes. I need to call the governments of the west coast and evacuate their citizens now. This is a mass casualty situation. We need to issue a tsunami warning now.
This is the Governor of California speaking.
This is Peter Williams from the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center. I am calling you due to a very urgent situation. A mega tsunami is expected to strike the west coast within the next 30 to 45 minutes. You need to evacuate the citizens near the coast now. I have also called the governors of Oregon and Washington. I have already issued a tsunami warning. It is expected to go through the emergency alert system shortly.
Oh my god. Looks like I'll evacuate the citizens near the coast like you said. Thank you very much. Bye.
The National Weather Service, in conjunction with the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center, have issued a tsunami warning for the entire west coast of the United States until further notice. This is a mass casualty situation. As of 2:15 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, a massive tsunami has been detected by National Weather Service Doppler radar in the Pacific Ocean, which is heading directly to the west coast of the United States. This tsunami is expected to strike the west coast within the next 30 minutes. Estimated height of this tsunami is around 300 feet, and is moving at about 75 miles per hour. All residents near the coast are advised to seek higher ground immediately. There is no time to evacuate. I repeat, it is too late to evacuate. If you do not seek higher ground, you will face certain death. Tsunamis are large waves that are not surfable. Tune into local TV and radio stations for more information on this dangerous situation. The following message is transmitted at the request of the Federal Emergency Management Agency. A massive tsunami with a height of 300 feet has struck the United States west coast. Cities 15 miles inland have suffered massive damage, and there are hundreds of injuries, fatalities, homeless, and people missing. All residents that evacuated may not return to their homes, as there is literally no home to return to, and crews have to complete surveys on the damage caused and clean up the debris. Stay tuned to the station for more information on this dangerous situation. Civil danger warning for the states of Washington, Oregon, and California. The following message is transmitted at the request of the Federal Emergency Management Agency. A potentially dangerous situation is currently taking place in the Cascade Mountains. As of 6 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, several eyewitnesses have reported smoke coming out of the following volcanoes: Mount St. Helens, Crater Lake, Mount Rainier, Mount Hood, and Mount Shasta. This could be signs of possible eruptions of all of these volcanoes within the next few days. However, an eruption of one or more of these volcanoes is not certain at this time. In addition, the United States Geological Survey has conducted research on these volcanoes, and have found that magma inside these volcanoes are rising. As a precaution, all residents within a 15-mile radius of the volcanoes are under a voluntary evacuation order. All other residents listening to this broadcast are advised to remain vigilant. Remember, this is not a mandatory order. Only evacuate if it is necessary. Tune into local TV and radio stations for more information on this dangerous situation.
Interesting. I wonder how these volcanoes all of a sudden became active out of nowhere. I believe it is due to that huge underwater earthquake that struck earlier this morning. I have been monitoring the volcanoes over the last few hours.
I see what you are saying. I hope that none of these volcanoes erupt. If they do, I am getting out of here.
I totally agree with what you just said. If they do, people within 35 miles of the volcanoes could be screwed. Oh my god! I have received word that all of the volcanoes are going to erupt. They even have a chance of erupting within the next 5 hours. All we have to do is notify the governments of Washington, Oregon, California, and all of the people living there immediately.
Who is this? Hello.
This is the United States Geological Survey speaking. I have a concerning update about the volcanoes. They are 5 hours away from erupting. You need to get the public out of here now.
Oh my god. I need to do that right away. Thank you. Goodbye.
The following message is transmitted at the request of the United States Geological Survey and the Federal Emergency Management Agency. A mandatory evacuation order has been issued for all residents within a 35-mile radius of the following volcanoes: Mount St. Helens, Mount Rainier, Crater Lake, Mount Hood, and Mount Shasta. Over the last hour, several small earthquakes and rising volcanic gases have been reported in all of these volcanoes. The United States Geological Survey has stated that all of these volcanoes will erupt within the next 5 hours. All residents within a 35-mile radius of these volcanoes are strongly advised to evacuate immediately. While evacuating, be sure to take essential supplies, such as non-perishable food, water, clothing, medical supplies, a first aid kit, a fully charged cell phone, a flashlight, and a battery-powered radio with extra batteries to last you and your family for at least a week. Do not pick up relatives from schools, hospitals, or nursing homes. These facilities have their own evacuation procedures. Evacuate as far east as possible. When you evacuate, tie a white-colored cloth or towel to your mailbox or door to signal authorities you have obeyed the evacuation order. Evacuate now. I repeat, evacuate now. The following message is transmitted at the request of the United States Geological Survey. It has been confirmed that Mount St. Helens, Mount Rainier, Crater Lake, Mount Hood, and Mount Shasta have all violently erupted simultaneously. In addition, the immediate evacuation for all residents within 35 miles of the previously mentioned volcanoes is still in effect. If you haven't evacuated already, do so now. Ash has already been reported to be as high as 10 kilometers into the atmosphere, and ashfall is expected to spread in areas near the volcanoes within the next 30 minutes. If you can't evacuate, seek shelter in an interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building and avoid windows. Wear a breathing mask in order to protect yourself from ash exposure. Turn off all heating and air conditioning systems. Close all fireplace dampers. And seal all cracks on doors and windows with tape or damp towels. Take food, water, clothing, medical supplies, a first aid kit, a flashlight, and a battery-powered radio for your stay in the shelter. Evacuate now. If you don't, you will be putting your life in danger. Tune into local TV and radio stations for more information on this dangerous situation. The following message is transmitted at the request of the United States Geological Survey and the Federal Emergency Management Agency. Geologists have discovered that the rifts situated between the states of Washington, Oregon, and California have collapsed. It is unknown what is going to happen next. However, a voluntary evacuation order is in effect for the entire states of Washington, Oregon, and California. If you want to evacuate, do so now. Take food, water, clothing, medical supplies, a first aid kit, a flashlight, a fully charged cell phone, and a battery-powered radio with you. Evacuate as far east as possible. The United States Geological Survey has stated that a Vern shot event is possible. A Vern shot is a large ejection of debris that occurs when gases underground build up non-stop, then proceeds to burst in an explosion fashion. Vern shots are capable of causing an extinction-level event should one occur. It is expected that the 3 states previously mentioned will be thrown into the atmosphere. Do not panic. Panicking will only make the situation worse. Tune into local TV and radio stations for more information on this developing situation. Civil danger for most of the United States. The following message is transmitted at the request of the United States government and the Federal Emergency Management Agency. A mass panic has been reported throughout most of the United States. This is the result of the possible Vern shot event, and since this is an extinction-level event, people are scared that the world is going to end. People in many cities across the country are roaming the streets and are causing damage, injuries, and fatalities to anyone and anything they see. The police and National Guard have been called in to deal with this situation. All residents receiving this broadcast are strongly advised to remain indoors with all windows and doors locked. Do not participate in this civil disturbance or you will be arrested or prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Do not panic. I repeat, do not panic. Panicking will only make the situation worse. Tune into local TV and radio stations for more information on this dangerous situation. This is an emergency action notification, requested by the White House. All EAS participants will follow activation procedures in the EAS Operating Handbook for a national-level emergency. The President of the United States, or one of his representatives will shortly deliver a message over the emergency alert system. Please stand by. Please stand by. Please stand by. We interrupt our regular programming. This is a global emergency. Important details will follow. Stand by. The President of the United States, or his designated representative, will be speaking shortly.
The following message has been given authorization for release by the request of the President, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, the United States Government, and the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, effective as of 7:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. This is not a test. I repeat, this is not a test. I regret to inform the citizens of the United States that at 5:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, 3 massive objects have been launched into the Earth's atmosphere. These objects have been confirmed to be the states of Washington, Oregon, and California. This has created a large portion of the Earth's crust that is currently visible to the naked eye. These objects are expected to impact in the Pacific Ocean. These objects are between 240 to 382 miles in diameter. They are expected to impact within the next 20 to 30 minutes. A Verne shot event is similar to an asteroid impact. When these objects impact, colossal megatsunamis of 5,000 feet high will occur, planet-shattering earthquakes of 10 or higher will occur, and the sun will be blocked entirely for about 15 to 30 years. I'm sorry to say this, but there is no way to survive an event like this. At this time, the only advice I have for you is to gather those that have a strong connection to you, and brace for the end of the world. Pray to your higher being or beings and repent. I have selected a verse of the Bible to be read on the air. John 10:28-30, I give them eternal life, and they shall never perish, no one will snatch them out of my hand. My Father, who has given them to me, is greater than all, no one can snatch them out of my Father's hand. I and the Father are one. We will conclude the final activation of the emergency alert system with one last playing of our national anthem. From a representative of the President, goodbye forever.